Good morning, everybody. This is Mike from mikesgrowroom. Today, we're going to just talk about pots, plastic versus fiber. My last video, where I asked everybody to give me some input, what they like to see, what we like to talk about. Everybody did a great job. I had all kinds of people sending me messages and some emails, what they like to hear, what they want to talk about. So thank you all. You guys had great ideas, and I'll cover all of them. I've got them all written down. And one of the questions was pots, and what type of pots. And I'll tell you, with my grow, I'm actually going to switch over from research I've done and from experience. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to try and keep these short. I know a lot of people want longer videos, but when it comes to pots, I'm going to give you some pros and cons and give you my ideas. And why I like them. Now, first off, let's go over what we have here. Now, if you're going to go with the fiber, they have all different types out there. They have seven gallon. We're doing photo period. Let me start out with that. Photo period. With photo periods, the minimum you want is 7 gallon. You can go up to 10 gallon, 14 gallon, but then the higher you go, the less room you have in your tent. So just remember that. And I'm talking about indoor growing. Okay, that's what we're talking about. So I generally stick to 7 gallons. Sometimes I go 10 gallon, but most times 7 gallon. So this is a 7 gallon fiber pot. This is a high quality one. This is made by AC Infinity. It has metal eyelets here, and that's for tying off your plants. Hang on. So when you're training your plants, I use pipe cleaners because they're nice and fuzzy and they won't harm your plant. You can put them through the eyelet and train your plant. But see how it's not very sturdy? And I've had problems with my plants as they get bigger. Actually, my pot starts leaning and moves around. Another thing with fiber, you need a drip pan under them. All right. You need that for a couple of reasons. Obviously, you don't want your bottom of your tent to get wet, but if you need to be testing your runoff to check your ppm and your EC and your pH and some other things. Now, fiber pots, there is nothing on the bottom but fiber. You can make slits in there with a knife, but at the end of the day, the slits are still there. And so what happens is the fiber actually will dilute your readings. It'll soak up some of the your ppm. It'll soak up some of the nutrients into the fiber itself, and you won't get a true reading. And if you have it laying flat like that, it can't come out because it's flat on this plastic. It's hard to get the liquids to come out. They almost have to come out through the side. And again, there's no slits there on the side because all that weight's on there. It's going to force the fluids to come out the side and drip down. And that's filtering your water, which basically has your nutrients in it. So other thing you can do is you say, put something down in here, whatever, couple bricks or something, to bring this up in the air. All right, you could do that, but still, fiber filters out your nutrients. And you'll notice when you take them, dump them, you'll see white lines all through here. And that's the salts. That's your nutrients. And sometimes what happens is the fiber will soak up some of your nutrients from the pots. So I'm doing, now we'll go to plastic. This is a 7 gallon heavy duty plastic. If you look on the bottom, you'll see the drain holes. There's drain holes around the side, around here. Bottom's flat. So now when I take this, and I put it inside here, drains straight out into the pan. Now, I take clay pellets, and you'll want to get your plastic first. This has a pretty good size hole in it. I can put my finger through it. So you'll want to get clay pellets that are maybe a little bigger around, you know, so they don't fall out. So I fill my bottom up with clay pellets. That will keep my soil from coming out and running out through these little slits. If you weren't to put the clay pellets in there, your soil will just keep running out of those slits. So I hope that makes sense to you. Now, those are very sturdy plastic. When the roots hit the plastic, they bounce off it and go back towards the middle. If you've ever cleaned one of your fiber pots, you'll actually pull your plant out. The roots are stuck in this. So once a root hits this, sometimes they'll either grow out of the cheaper ones and they'll air prune, they'll die, and they don't go any further than that. So your root doesn't grow as big. So plastic, they basically ricochet off there and they go back out to the middle and you get a better root ball. Now, for training, you say there's a lip here, but what I do is I take a little 3/16" drill bit and drill little holes on top of here, wherever I want it at, and I can put my, whatever I'm using, my pipe cleaners through the little hole and come over. And this is really, really stiff. And if you had a stiffer wire, you could just hook it on there and come over. Get you some tubing that you'd use for aquariums, little plastic tubing, put through your wire, so when you wrap around your plant, the plastic tubing is touching the stem and not the wire. So you could do that. Also, when you're using fiber and you're watering in your tent, remember it's keeping it's warm in there with those lights. And what'll happen is this will allow your water to evaporate quicker because of the fiber. And if you've noticed also, if you've used these before and you clean them out, sometimes it's a little hard around the edge, the dirt is, and that's just because it's compacted and dry. And again, that's not a good thing. You don't want your air, you want your soil to be moist and workable and aerated, whereas you don't have to worry about that with the plastic. That doesn't happen. The water just goes right on down and out, and unless your roots absorb it. So they're much sturdier. They won't tilt over. They won't tip over. If you've ever cleaned these, my wife hates it. She don't want me to put these in her washer. You can. The best way to do it is turn them inside out and put them in there and wash them. Now, it's like 0 degrees outside right now, so if I was the one to clean it now, I'm not going outside with a garden hose and scrub brush. That ain't happening. So then they just sit there dirty for however long if you don't use a washer. And even using a washer, when you use them, it breaks the fibers down and they just won't last as long. Now, a good high quality one like this will probably last a little longer, but you know, it does have the handles, whereas plastic does not have a handle. But me, I'm not moving them around. They're sitting in that tent and I grow straight into here. Now you'll see some growers start out with a 3-gallon pot and grow it a while, take it out, put it in a 5-gallon pot, grow it, take it out, and then right before they go to flower, they'll put it in a 7-gallon, put their nutrients in for flowering, and transplant it and leave it in there. I don't do that. I put my seedling will go in here. They're about ready to transplant now. I put them in there and they stay in, and then I top dress with nutrients for whatever I need, whether it's through veg, late veg, early veg, flowering, so on and so forth. So there's fiber versus plastic. We're going to go over what the ppm is, EC, what that is, the pH, and all that. You do need to be testing that with your plants, and it's much easier to do it with a plastic pot that has slits in it. You get true runoff. This runoff is not filtered at all. It's what it is. Fiber, it gets filtered, and you have to have it up off the bottom or they'll come out the side, and again, it's no good. It's filtered. So I'm tossing them to the side. I'm going with these. Also, these clean up much easier. You won't see no white stains in them. You can wash them out. If you've had fungus gnats, if you ever get them, I hope you don't. But if you do get them, the larvae are usually on top of the dirt within an inch. But they have been known to get caught up into the fibers of these. They can hold on. So you have to really wash them good when you wash them. Whereas with plastic, if you did ever have fiber gnats, it'd rinse right out. It's nice and slick. You don't have to worry about it. But we'll talk about fungus gnats later on. So that's it on this video. I hope I answered your questions. I gave you some pluses and minuses. Guys, do whatever you want to do. When I started out, I used fiber because they were cheaper and I didn't have a lot of money. The plastic are a little more expensive, but if you think of it this way, when you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or anywhere like that, or a nursery, you buy plants, normally what are they in and what size plant? They're always in plastic pots. You don't see them in fiber pots, and they're in that for a reason. They just grow much better in plastic. The roots are much better in plastic. So that's what I'm sticking with, guys. This grow, I'm going with plastic. I'm switching. I've done all my grows up until this point in fiber. So we're starting out with these. That's my decision. That's what I'm doing. We'll see how it goes. Now, I had another question from another, I want to touch on this briefly, another viewer, and he said, Mike, how about doing a grow with just Miracle Grow soil? And that's it, nothing else. So in my next video, I'm going to be transplanting my seedlings, which are now just starting in the veg state. They have 7 sets of leaves. I'll be transplanting them into my pots, and I'll tell you what I'm using. But one of them will be organic Miracle Grow only. So, and it'll be a Bruce banner. They're going to be the identical plants from the same genetics. Came with the seeds, came together. So one will be in my soil, one will be in Miracle Grow Organics, which is right there on the floor. That's for one pot. So that's going to be my next video coming up, is my growing medium. What do I use? I use a combination of things. We'll get them put in the pots. I'll show you how to transplant the seedlings, what you put on the seedlings. So that's coming up in the video after this one. So if you have any more questions, guys, about pots, let me know. But that's what I'm going to. 7-gallon plastic ones for photo period. All right. Now, if you're using autos, stay with the 5-gallon and you're good. You know, that's just fine. You don't need to use the big 7-gallon because it's just not needed to. The roots don't get all that big because autos grow so fast. But I'm vegging these a long time. I want that root ball to get big. I want these plants to get stiff. I want that stalk, that middle stalk, I want it bigger than my thumb. I want it to look like a tree that George Bunyan or Paul Bunyan had cut down before I flip it. So there you go, guys. Enough talking. Got any more questions, let me know. Drip pan, plastic, slits in the bottom. Get you some clay balls. They have different sizes. Get the size that don't come out your slits. You're good. Ready for soil to go on top of it. Do not put any fabric over top of your balls in there. Put dirt straight on top of them. Again, you don't want the fabric filtering your ppm. There it is, guys. All right, have a great day. And thanks all the new subscribers and all you guys for your input. You guys are the best. Appreciate it. See y'all.